Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Love Wrestling React. Mr. J joining me, Spencer Love, to chat some Impact Wrestling Rebellion. Man, it is good to see you again. It was great to chat this morning, but I gotta say, selfishly, it's always better to chat when you're coming off an event like we got tonight, man. And it was a hell of a show coming out of Impact Wrestling's end of things. How you doing, man? What'd you think of tonight's event?
You know, I said it right before we went on the air. I have never been so wrong. If you listened to the show earlier today, I've been wrong basically the whole show, but except for the ending. And I'm ecstatic about the ending. And I feel great. And,
As you should.
The ending
friend,
was too sweet, shall we say. It was a bit sweet. Haha.
I understand the pun and the funny joke that you were making there. Of course, if you guys are in the comments, if you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, say hi like our good friend Sandy is. Sandy, it's good to see you again. Tuning in from Germany.
Sandy, you're back.
Right, and better than ever. Anytime I hear I'm back, I can't not sing Bischoff's theme. Either way, we are here not to talk about WCW, WWE, the Mat Rats, or anything in between. We're here to chat Impact. You might have given her away a little bit there, man, but early contender for a match of the night tonight.
Yeah, all of it, I think. Definitely the main event was the match of the night, but for start to finish, I was like, I don't have time to do anything because all of these matches are actually really well put together, I thought. And yeah, I loved every second of it. I haven't had that experience with a pay-per-view in a very long time, and I'm very happy.
Don't disagree with you at all. Even the promos, which I was talking to John from Wrestling Plug Inc. on the post show last Thursday. A lot of the promo segments on Thursday night I felt dragged on and were a little long-winded and really didn't sell me on a pay-per-view. Whereas tonight, like Don Callis, Rich Swann's promo at about the midway point of the show, I thought they were both absolutely fantastic. Rich Swann in the most complimentary way possible. Is always like a very fun-loving, exuberant, positive dude. And he took a very serious tone with his promo tonight. I absolutely loved it. My match of the night, loved the main event, but where we will kick off our show tonight and where Impact kicked their show off tonight, the X Division triple threat. Wow. Just wow. Yeah. What a way to open a show. I absolutely loved the match. Of course, we got to give a huge shout to good Canadian Josh Alexander, your new Impact Wrestling X Division champion. Absolute blast. I absolutely loved this match. I thought Ace Austin looked really, really great, even in defeat. The whole sort of first half, 3/4 of the match even, he was really the guy not leading the match. Leading the match has a very different term in wrestling. Sort of who took control of the match. You know what I mean? Like, he was the guy on the most offensive end of things. He was looking really, really good. He was on fire, like I said, throughout that first half. And then they started to get into that submission stuff. And I really liked the way that they tied all of that together.
Was sick.
Yeah, when they went from TJP, I think, had Josh Alexander in a knee bar. And then Alexander had
to an ankle lock.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. So cool. I thought there were just a lot of really great little technical spots like that in there, which for me is what the X Division always has been, right? Like, it's got a very different connotation to me than cruiserweights do.
If I could interrupt for a moment.
Of course, feel encouraged.
The X Division is not about weight limits. It's about no limits. See, I am a fan of Impact, and I fucking love that line, and you can fight me on it. I think it's amazing, and this match shows exactly what that means. No limits, nonstop.
I'm frustrated by your knowledge, but also I'm more impressed than I am frustrated, to be quite honest with you.
I'm in good company, but at most parties that doesn't impress. So,
well, on this show, it does impress. And again, if you guys are in the comments, you want to chat some Impact Rebellion, that's what we're here to do for about the next half hour, 45 minutes, 7 hours. Who knows? We could get on a tangent. We've done so before. Absolutely love the match, though. And again, a big shout out to Josh Alexander.
Yep.
We said earlier today, and I said specifically that whoever didn't win this match between Alexander and Ace Austin, I thought was going to move into that heavyweight championship scene. I still think that that's going to be a way they go while Kenny Omega is on top. Whether they do it as a television or an Impact on Twitch match or pay-per-view match, I think that you're going to see Ace Austin versus Kenny Omega at some point. And I am very, very excited for that matchup. That's going to be, man, that's going to be a barn burner. Again, he looked absolutely fantastic tonight. That by no means was a loss where I think he looks worse for it. Just a good showing from Ace Austin. Excited to see what he's going to do next.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't disagree.
Well, I don't think I would either. I make some excellent points. Next up.
And so modest. Moving on.
We're both eloquent individuals, Mr. J. We're moving on to Violent by Design versus Team Impact. Another great match for very different reasons in a way that the X Division matchup earlier was a real I'll use two cliches. They're the most fun way to talk about wrestling sometimes. Where the first match was like a real technically wrestled match. It was a real barn burner in that sense of the word. This was just a bunch of big dudes beating the ever-loving hell out of each other. Like, it says a lot when Diener is one of the smaller guys in the match, and that guy's still pushing like 220. He's a big dude. But when you're standing up against Rhino... Yeah, man, when you're standing next to Rhino and Joe Doring and W. Morrissey, who looked absolutely fantastic. Big cast, good on him. He's a guy who I think got, not as a shot. I don't mean this in like a shitty way, but he got a lot of rightful flack for some stuff he did, both before and after the departure from WWE. But like, what a great story that guy's turned into, whether it be his recovery from alcoholism, whether it be like he's been very open in the interviews he's done about trying to get back into the ring, even the stuff that didn't really take off, like that Ring of Honor spot that he did with Enzo 2 years ago or whatever it was. I was really happy to see him tonight just based on the story behind him. And like you said, man, the match was just a slobber knocker. Give me your thoughts.
I thought it was sick. Like, honestly, really happy to see him back. I don't remember what his name was, but I'm sure I'll learn it in the next couple weeks.
W. Morrissey, I believe they're going.
I saw Morrissey. I was like, what the fuck? The Rockstar is coming out?
I was going to say, I didn't.
Why are we doing this? But yeah, no, honestly.
Is he going to come out and tell everybody how upset he was about the South Park episode?
Oh my God! Stop. Speaking of tangents, we could go. So never mind. I'm gonna get us back on track because I always fuck up the brunches. So we'll move forward with this. Basically, I thought it was really fun. I had a feeling for a second when Eric Young looked up. I was like, are they bringing back Abyss? Because that would be cool.
Oh, man.
But I haven't heard of him leaving that other place yet. So
that other promotion up north. The big organization up north.
The federal penitentiary, as it's been referred to at some point.
Stanford Fed, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm super surprised. I was actually speechless for a few minutes. I was like, what the? Seriously? And he's really good and he looks amazing. Like, only positives for that.
Couldn't agree with you more. Sorry, I'm a little bit sneezy right now, which is why I'm sort of picking right now. I completely agree, though. Like, I thought that he looked absolutely fantastic in his time in the ring, and he was in there for even a lot longer than I guess maybe I even thought he would have been. Like, it's his first match, and God knows how long. I think since even that Tommy Dreamer spot where he did have that medical issue that ended up popping up. So It was great to see him. It was great to see him look as good as he did. Dude, Joe Doring, too. I don't want it to be lost how great he looked tonight. He looked absolutely fantastic. I want to see, and they did refer to Morrissey a couple of times as the hired gun. So whether he's a full-time member of Violent by Design or not, I'm not 100% sure. But I'd love to see. I'd love to see a Morrissey and Doring tag team title run.
I mean, from what I got off of that, I thought it was like, I kind of get the storyline of this is his test. And, he's not part of the plan, but he could be. And
okay.
the whole mount at the end and the continue to the beat down after, I thought, yeah, he's earning his way into the group potentially. I don't know. I'm not a booker.
That's a
but
fair
yeah,
point. No,
I
fair point.
thought it was interesting.
I didn't put that together. I just sort of heard the couple of times Stryker referred to him as a hired gun. So I didn't know if it was a full-time thing. I want it to be a full-time thing. Don't
So
think
do
that
I.
that's a critique of that by any means whatsoever. But we'll see. I'm excited. There's a lot of good stuff that he could do. There are a lot of great names like Morrissey versus. It's going to take me a second. So when I inevitably call him Big Cass or Kaz XL, I apologize. But like him against Jake something, that's the match that I immediately thought is going to be an absolute barn burner. But I loved a lot of it. Cody Deaner as well. I think he brings a really, really unique element to Violent by Design, and it especially stood out tonight with Eric Young out. And that'll be for the foreseeable future. I think they'll start to build him up as the leader. Eric Young eventually he'll be, at least I would have to assume, taken off TV. I can't assume it's going to be fun to travel once he starts rehab and all of that on a torn ACL, which holy shit, that guy worked on a torn ACL. Also, last note that I had for this match specifically, the Eddie Edwards spot where he dove like onto Chris Sabin and Doring and Morrissey on the outside of the ring. Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. I'm just agreeing, but you're dead on.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you covering for me so I could take a sip of my beer.
That's fine. It's fine.
It's appreciated. Next up, we had Brian Myers, the real professional wrestler, or the most professional
professional wrestler,
versus Matt Cardona. I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed it. I don't have. I don't really have a ton of notes outside of just I enjoyed the match. The one spot that I wrote down, and I'm sure you knew it was going to be mentioned on my end as soon as it happened, was the unpretty him, the unpretty her, whatever you want to call it, that he did. That was a hot mess, or Cardona's a hot mess. Always pop for a Chelsea Green shout. Always a pop for it.
I feel like we've heard of we've heard that term used before.
Me being a fan.
Couple times.
Well, and the other note that I had about not the match itself, but at the end there, either Matt Cardona did a great job of convincing everyone he was injured, or hopefully he's not actually injured, because it seemed good. Like I really hope not either. It seemed like they went to the ending of it really fairly quickly, I assumed, but could have been. I could be worked. Can't turn a work into a shoot when a work's a work, brother. Your thoughts on the match?
I liked it. I did not like Myers' outfit. I hate that color. Makes me sad. Wrestling is visual, and it just looked boring. And Matt Stryker, he's wearing the color of wet cement. I'll leave you with that. He's wearing the color of wet cement.
It's a little darker than dry cement. I'll at least give him the effort on that end. Like I prefer a darker suit.
I was taking more notes on how much I dislike Matt Stryker during this pay-per-view than about the pay-per-view, so that's not a good thing. But no, this is love wrestling, not hating on Matt Stryker, is what
wasn't on his A game tonight. And I think like when we talk about the main event, that became apparent when he's sitting next to who I consider one of the GOATs in Mauro Ranallo. Like he's just up here. I'm lifting my arm as high as I possibly can for those who like everyone else
a little bit
watching
more,
this.
A little bit taller. I'll just
thank you. You're what, like 6'15"?
17, but you know who's really counting.
All right,
perfect. Tell people have no egos whatsoever, but you can't teach that. What? Who thought that? Never mind. Go on.
Tony Khan then made his first appearance on screen. He made an appearance with a contingent of All Elite Wrestling folks, is the way I've got them written down. And line of the night, Hebner would never screw anybody. Loved it.
Yep.
Other than that is all I needed to say. The other note, 2 refs. I always hate 2 refs. There's never a point Never a point for me in two refs. There's really not. You never need to pre-announce two refs.
I really think it was more along the lines of Impact kind of making a joke out of it, where it's like, oh, you think this is going to be a regular Impact ending where it's all kind of screwy, but it's not.
Yeah,
but that's wishful thinking.
That again, Jared, that again leads to the what did Impact get out of this?
And we can talk about that because I have a couple of feelings about that because I do have a couple of feelings about that because I think they could go places. I think they've laid groundwork for this to happen. But
feel free to interrupt whenever you need to on that end. We're just going to keep progressing down the card. But yeah, I don't disagree. I again have never booked a wrestling show. There's probably shit I've never thought of that they're going to do, but I can only go off of my current knowledge. And as of right now, Impact's world champion is carrying that championship as his secondary or third tertiary championship. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's talk some Fire and Flava versus new Knockouts champions Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. I'll let you kick. I got this one right. Oh no, this was the one I got wrong. Sorry. Kick her off though. This is all you.
I don't agree with this decision because I don't know. I didn't think it was the right ending, but I did like the match, and I did really like the fact that Jazz did not really get involved, and she was just there to be like the manager and to give encouragement and to actually be like, no, I am honoring my word, but I'm going to be here to back up my replacement. I thought that was really cool.
There were a couple of things that I really enjoyed, and one of them was on Jazz's end. And where I give Matt Stryker and you give Matt Stryker shit a little earlier, and rightfully so, I appreciated the fact that for this match, number one, he went out of his way to point out prior to the match starting that Fire and Flavor asked to enter first because they wanted to get the mental advantage or just a little touches like that. Yeah. Usually in pro wrestling, I've at least come to become conditioned that the people entering second are the ones they want to make look most important. And you would usually do that with your champions, which usually is, for me, the logic of why they always enter second. So it was nice to have them tackled off as far as an explanation for why they didn't. Because it wouldn't ruin the match for me by any means, but it certainly would be something where I'd say, oh, okay, they've got to be losing here, right? Because they're not entering second and yada, yada, yada. So I liked that. And then I also liked the fact that they touched on, oh, well, Jazz is managing. She was able to get her managerial license fairly quickly because this is a big event.
Super easy.
Yeah, like I appreciate little touches like that. I don't hate it. I really don't. Give me an explanation for little stuff like that. Exactly. It's fine by my books. Any thoughts on the match itself, though? Any parts you want to shout out specifically? I really wanted to give some credit to Hogan and Steels, making them look absolutely fantastic. They're great wrestlers in their own right, but one big part of being a great pro wrestler for me is making your opponents look equally, if not better, great than you. And I think that both Hogan and Steels, like obviously with the power disadvantage being the story, they made them look great. Like that spinebuster from Jordan Grace looked massive on Kiera Hogan. Absolutely massive.
Well, like that's the thing between these two teams. You have an actual tag team and a team that was thrown together. But by the end of it, I was like, no. You know what? The team that's not a team is a pretty good team. And it made sense. Like I still don't like or agree with the call, but yeah. I thought that everybody looked really actually really good. Like
I agree.
Solid match, and I watched the whole thing. I wasn't on my phone tweeting, and I should have been, but whatever.
Well, as WWE said on their conference call, that is what they're competing with now is people sitting and texting all night. It's not other wrestling programs or anything of logic. They're competing with people sitting and texting like I am right now.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I have to pay attention. Sorry. I have to pay attention. Whoops. I wasn't able to text for like 3 hours. It's not my fault.
Any other thoughts on the match, though, Mr. J?
It's too early, but yeah, I really actually want to see. Is it Rachel Ellering? I really want to
Yeah,
see. Though I want to see Rachel and Jordan Grace have a just a beat the crap out of each other fight in the next 6
yeah.
months when they do
And
eventually
I
break
was
up.
gonna say in the nicest way possible, because obviously, like whenever people win a championship, just for the people behind it, you want them to have the long run and get that sort of extended run with a championship every professional wrestler wants. But selfishly, uh, I just want these two to beat the hell out of
Yeah.
each other inside a wrestling ring sooner rather than later. I've been a big Rachel Ellering fan for years. Jordan Grace, by my money, is, um, not to steal a cliche, but like she's the next big thing. She's already a star. Don't get me wrong, but like
She's
she's
like
she's the next big thing in women's wrestling. If she chooses to sign with any promotion, like she'll be their biggest women's star within years. You know what
yeah.
I mean? I love me some Jordan Grace. But that's all I have to say about that. Congrats to the new champs. Excited to see where they go from here. I would assume we'll get a rematch on Impact on Thursday, but lots of ways they could go with it. We could see Kimberly and Sue, Kimberly and Suzanne, Kimberly and Sue Young. Lots of different combinations we can do.
Is Susie still on the? No, it's Susan now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, gone to Susan.
Depending on how they feel that day, but yeah,
Exactly. I
Susan's my mood at the moment. But
I am Susan. Absolutely fantastic.
the cell phone
Sammy,
work with her is amazing. By the way, the whole Karen vibe of I'm gonna film this because you're love it.
she's excellent. She might be one of the best characters in wrestling. I think that's one thing Impact does real well. Whether it's her, whether it's whether it's Rosemary, whether it is Sammy Callahan, one of the guys we're going to talk about in our next match. I think they just do characters really, really, really well. Because like even with someone like Rosemary, or even with someone like Sue Young, Susan, um, they're characters, but they don't seem hokey, in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form. Either way, let's move on from that point. I'm sure that'll be a Sunday brunch topic soon. Sammy Callahan and Trey Miguel. This, in the most complimentary of ways, because I did really like the match. Probably my least favorite match on the card, though.
Is it because it made you physically uncomfortable, that table spot?
Well, some of
The
it
table leg
certainly did.
spot?
The guardrail made me uncomfortable,
Yep.
like within the first 5 minutes, where Miguel just like literally dove at it. He took a beating in this match. He didn't get a ton of offense in. And I know that's the point. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, I want to stress that I enjoyed the match, but like he took a beating. He took an absolute beating. And then to win it on literally Sammy Callahan slipping on the sweat on the table. I wasn't a fan of that part. Wasn't a fan of the ending to this.
Yeah. But the build up, I mean, last man standing matches are either really like they can go one of two ways, really over the top, or just kind of, oh, okay, so it's over. And we went the oh, okay, it's over route.
Yeah, and I was frustrated that they did. Like you
Yeah.
said, the build was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that they've told a fantastic story with Trey Miguel going into this, even since he came back. Like I really didn't think there had been many missteps, and not to say that this match was a misstep, but I really would have loved to have seen. It's the best way to put it. Miguel get that definitive win, right?
Yeah.
Like you can still take the beating, but I would have loved to have seen him put Callahan down for 10 seconds rather than Callahan was up at 9.5 and then slipped on the table. That was
Yeah.
odd. It was odd to me. What can
Maybe
you
they'll
do?
go somewhere with it that Callahan's like, yeah, I beat myself, you didn't beat me, or something like that. I have a feeling that that could be it, but I don't know. I thought it was a quick ending, but the
And
wrench,
that's where, like,
the table and the wrench were just like,
oh,
okay,
I forgot
cool.
about that wrench spot. That
We're
wrench
doing that.
spot was tough.
It's
Tough,
like,
tough.
it's a good thing they like
Oh.
each other. I mean, no, they don't like each other, but like, wow.
No one
That's
enjoyed that.
trust.
That was no one enjoyed that wrench spot. Like again, not in the that was bad in the I couldn't do that. That was not fun. And then that table leg spot was a very, very tough looking spot.
Yeah.
I do not envy how Trey Miguel is going to wake up feeling tomorrow morning. But I think that's all we got to say about that. Good on him for winning. I think that they're going to run this one back.
Yeah.
What's the next event?
I believe it's Under Siege, if I'm not
Then
mistaken.
that'll probably be their next show.
A wrestle.
Yeah, probably be a death match or something.
You can still hear me, right? I just changed over my
mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were muted there for a second.
Okay. But... No, just wanted to make sure. Changed over my mic. It connected for a couple of seconds to the AirPods is the microphone, which is about the stupidest thing ever. Sorry for anybody who listened and was offended by my audio quality. And an even bigger sorry to anybody who's tuning in now and is offended by my audio quality, because at this point, it is not changing. Let's talk about...
I'm offended. Let's move on.
Let's talk about the tag team championship match, unless there's anything specific that you wanted to talk about from Rich Swann's promo. I thought it was great, but we touched on that a little bit near the start of the show. There's no need for me to rehash at least my opinion on it. Do you have anything you want to say there? Otherwise, feel free to move on to the tag team title bout that we saw tonight.
I gotta be honest, the whole run with Rich Swann, I have not really known what to think, but the press conference and this was just they had me doubting whether or not they were gonna pull the trigger with Kenny tonight. And I was like, maybe Rich Swann could be the guy. He could, because I would have been okay with it, but
he's not a bad guy.
Yeah,
there we go.
Oh,
not a good guy. He's just the guy.
I should probably not do that on Poetry for promo, but moving on. But yeah, no, the tag match, not to disrespect Rich Swann, but we'll get to him in a few moments, I suppose. But the tag match, I liked it. I'm not a fan of the ending of it for obvious reasons. But no, I like it. I think and I think they mentioned it in either in the match or in the promo package, it is good for those belts to be seen worldwide. And it is good for them to be like all over the place because it makes sense. It should be like, no, this is the tag team division.
They're world's tag team championships.
Yeah,
exactly.
They don't just stay in Orlando. What?
Exactly. Literally the only two notes that I wrote down are this is a great match. The Good Brothers lost to an inside cradle with a lot of exclamation points and question marks written in between it. You know, I don't hate the call. It's just odd for me. Like, it's not like they'd taken a beating. It's not like anything like that. I don't know. I liked the match a lot, but same sort of issue that I had with the Miguel and Callahan match. I'm a little marred by the finish with it.
Yeah.
Sue me. It is what it is. John Callis comes out after that.
we also got a jacket with dangly on it, and it was just like
very true. That makes the match a winner in my book. It makes it a winner in my book.
The Good Brothers are always a win for me, I'll be honest. Like, that's it.
This was also the first time that I noticed, because I noticed it with Omega later the evening too. They changed their music in Impact, and I didn't really like it. Didn't like it very much. Yeah, Don Callis comes out, cuts a very Don Callis-like promo. I couldn't tell you any of it because it was one long sentence talking about how they've known each other for 27 years. And
that same
then Don Callis is...
Yeah.
Yep, I like Don Callis a lot, don't get me wrong, but it was a very just Don Callis promo.
Yeah.
Tenille Dashwood then proceeded to wrestle Deonna Purrazzo in a very entertaining match. I quite liked it. She has had a just shitty go of things over about the last 2 years. Tenille Dashwood has, whether it's injuries, whether it's being part of Ring of Honor, and then the fallout with their women's division, not her, the women's division entirely. Everything that went on there is just shitty because she is such a great pro wrestler. It was nice to see her have that opportunity again tonight. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted it out, and I completely agree. Like, this may have been her best match. I'd agree with it since she wrestled Asuka. I got no issue agreeing with that statement.
No,
I think they did a really, really good job of making Tenille look like a threat. and that's hard to do against Deonna Purrazzo. But Deonna's a forever champ. There's no other way to put it. Yeah. It's going to take something big to lose that championship. Like, it's going to sound odd to say, but ironically enough, it's going to take like a Deonna Purrazzo level debut or something like that for her to lose the title. You know, she lost it to Su Yung for the couple of months, even between there's events there. But like, it'd need to be, and by no means is this like it's just to give an example of a name. Like if Chelsea Green was to debut or come back as Laurel Van Ness and wrestle Deonna Purrazzo for the title, that'd be a situation to maybe do it. Or even if you did have a Billie Kay or Mickie James, like one of your established names, I could see that. But right now, and it's no discredit to any of the women in Impact, they have, if not the best women's division in wrestling, then it's at 1A to NXT. Yeah. Toss up as far as I'm concerned. I don't know who beats Deonna Purrazzo. I don't. She's too good.
Yeah. In that, especially in this roster, it's like, I want to say Taylor Wilde, but if it does happen, Deonna's going to take it back very quickly. Because,
well, and even then, like Mickie James, I put in there as sort of a throwaway, nothing against her career, but Deonna's sort of taken like retiring Jazz, taking out the bigger names in women's wrestling. Like she's sort of got a legend killer gimmick going on, for lack of a better way to put it. Like Taya Valkyrie's last match in Impact Wrestling, right? Taylor Wilde, she may be someone who gets added to that list of possibly. I'm coming back for the title and I got taken down at the hands of Deonna Purrazzo. I could see it. In fact, I would say it's likely. The thing I love about Deonna too is like she can win matches in a number of ways. Whether it's the Venus de Milo, whether it's the Queen's Gambit, like there are a number of different ways she can finish a match. And I like that. Most people it's, oh, they hit their finish. Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that is, I think, what makes her matches very, actually, I mean, not to be disrespectful, but it makes them watchable because you never know what she's going to finish with. Yeah. Because you know with a Kenny Omega match, as soon as he hits that move, it's over. And then that's it.
It's done.
It's the finisher. And it's just like, yeah, but with multiple finishers, it makes it way more fun and just like, oh shit, what's she winning with tonight? You know, it's a changing set list as musicians would say, the rotating set list.
You can close with any song, right? Speaking of Mickie James, Chelsea Green, let's talk really quickly about the Slammiversary promo, because after last year, we're very well aware that these are all but guarantees to be coming back to Impact Professional Wrestling. But like when you're seeing people like Samoa Joe and the Great Muta, and again, Mickie James and Chelsea Green, who air very quickly in part of that vignette, speculation's going to come. Who do you want to see there the most?
You know, it's funny because I saw Joe, but I only really cared about the hot mess. It was really weird. I was like, what the fuck? No, that's awesome. And I even tweeted about it. I was like, wait, can we roll that back? Like, forget the next match. Play that twice. I want to see this again. I'll probably YouTube it right after this, too.
I think it's because, for me, no discredit to what Joe did in Impact, but he's just one of those guys who's like a Ring of Honor guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that might be why it's like a little undersold when I see that, is because like when it comes to, again, Chelsea Green, Laurel Van Ness, like that was really the first time I got to know her outside of her work in the Canadian Indies, right? Like, so cool to see that. And then that's where you start to dig back into the stuff she did elsewhere outside of your ECCWs and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, Joe, I think he's been great everywhere, but even now, even after the run with WWE, Samoa Joe's a Ring of Honor guy. And that says a lot considering the great run he had in NXT and even the great run he had to a point in WWE. I don't think we can discount it. It's playing a lot of, and it's rightful criticism that he should have won a championship, but let's also not discount Samoa Joe's run in WWE either.
Oh, no, he was at the place. and that's it. Like, you can't take that away. But
Yeah.
for me, and for argument's sake, because I didn't watch Ring of Honor, like, I still don't. I'm sorry. Don't at me in the comments. I don't care. Basically, I never watched Ring of Honor. I've never really gotten into it, and it's unfortunate because I know there's a lot of good shit there. But for me, Joe was one of the guys that was like, "Holy shit, this guy's on Impact. Who else is there?"
Right.
And then you look at the stuff he did with Angle, and it's just like, no, that's amazing. And yeah, he has done better stuff in Ring of Honor, but he helped build a little bit, especially with like AJ Styles, Christopher Dan, all those guys. They were the foundation, and that was just like, no, these are, to me, they're Impact guys, but I get where you're coming from because they're more synonymous with Ring of Honor. But to me,
it's a good problem to have when you've got a great body of work to choose from, right?
Like, how dare you work in multiple places?
and had great runs in all of them. Like, that is the thing, is like, you talk about the matches with Kurt Angle and Impact, like, those are legendary matches, absolutely legendary matches, right? So Samoa Joe,
the shit out of him. Whoops.
Huge pop. Well done. Let's talk about the main event featuring the man from the wrestling capital of the world, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Kenny by God Omega versus Rich Swann. This was a fantastic match. There's no other way to put it. I loved what they did. I don't really have another way to put it. There were a couple of spots in it where, when they headed to the top rope, is the specific couple times I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
is where it looked like Rich Swann botched the moves, or there were issues with them. And then as you go on, like, my thought as far as the story goes is,
maybe
basically, well, that's exactly it. I think they were building that as part of the story, and that Rich Swann is like down but not out, and Rich Swann is not a quitter. And again, all of those proverbial cliches you can throw on a babyface, right? Like, Rich Swann looked fantastic tonight. The one thing that I did notice that I still think is weird is that, like, next spot where he went to go for almost a handspring cutter and like held there for a second. I thought that was a little odd, but like, man, if that's one small complaint out of a great match,
like,
what can I say? Kenny Omega hit like 50,000 V triggers.
Yeah, like, just knee to face and head, and just the saliva did it for me. I was just like, Rich Swann is dead. We've just seen a murder.
Well, and that was such a great spot too, where he was hanging over the ropes and Kenny Omega's like showing him to Eddie Edwards and Willie Mack. One thing as well I appreciated, not any interference in a traditional sense.
It was the best part about it, because it was, we could have it and it could very easily get fucky, but it didn't. And it
gives it a big fight feel. Like, it's something that you can take from boxing, is like having those people around the ring and having people in your corner that, like, don't get, if anybody ever got involved in a boxing match, it'd be a national travesty, and rightly so as far as the sport goes, right? And I know that pro wrestling's a different thing, but when you have those people around ringside like Don Callis and Eddie Edwards and a Willie Mack and the Good Brothers, like, it does just, again, give it that big fight feel. People are that interested. People are that invested in you. People are that invested in the match. I really loved it. I'm curious to see where they go from here. I thought for sure there was going to be some sort of schmoz finish. I didn't think there was going to be a title changing hands tonight. Obviously, I have to eat my words on that one, and I'm happy to.
I've been eating my words all night, except for this match.
Fair call, friend. I'm happy to eat my words on it. When you get a fantastic match like that in a great moment, like, regardless of whether you're a fan of the decision or not, it's a great moment having Kenny Omega lift all of those championships at once.
Yep.
I'm really curious as to where they go from here, because if I thought that Deonna Purrazzo was unbeatable, by God, Kenny Omega, that guy is a guy who's unbeatable.
And do you want to know? Here's my thing, and I wanted to say this earlier today.
Okay.
But I didn't, because I was afraid. But now it's all coming together. It's all coming together. Here's the thing. Him and AEW not promoting this. They didn't promote him winning the AAA championship at all. Nobody gave a shit about that match. And it was fantastic when he won it. It was a fantastic match. And then when he went to go defend it again, it was even better. Nobody talked about it. So it's like, okay, why should they promote Impact? He's just going to go and take their stuff because that's what he does. Now, the reason that this is going to be interesting, in my opinion, is because now you got guys like Moose saying you better not lose. And he's pissed.
Yeah,
and then you have Sami Callihan going, you better not lose. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next? That's where your invasion angle is going to start, because now you have our stuff. We're coming.
We got to come take it back. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Which title do you think he loses first? Let's leave the AAA one out of this. I don't know, admittedly, how familiar you are with it, but
I'm not.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm not familiar at all, and that's my own. But that's my own discredit. Like I deserve to be. I deserve to be shamed for that. But does he lose the AEW title or does he lose the Impact title first?
I think. You know what? I'm not even sure, because it depends on. Or does he win another belt in the meantime? Because there is another one that we've been talking about, but nobody really wants to talk about it.
The WWE Universal Championship.
Oh my God, I'd love to watch him just V-trigger Roman in the face multiple times. Just the battle of the assholes would be amazing.
There were a few people in the Fight TV comment section going back and forth on their opinion on Roman Reigns, and same sort of thing as Omega. Like, you can like him or dislike him, but it is indisputable that guy is a great professional wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
You simply cannot argue it for me.
You cannot. And
you really can't.
Why bother? They're at the top of their game. But
exactly.
At this point, whose title does he drop first? I think, to be honest, I think it should be the AEW title.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't lose it for long. But then he'll start losing the other ones at the same time while he's trying to get that one back, because that'll be his main focus. Is the way I would do it.
I like that a lot, Mr. J. You are very, very much a bright mind in professional wrestling and a wordsmith as far as promos go. Any other thoughts? I think we've wrapped it up as far as the match card goes. I don't really have anything over and above what we've already talked about tonight. So, Mr. J, I will give you the final word on tonight's Impact Rebellion, what I am calling a 4 bag out of 5 bag of popcorn review or Rebellion pay-per-view. That's my personal review, just to tie that together and make it sound like I wasn't just stumbling over my words. Give me your thoughts, and then give the people information on where they can keep track of Mr. J online.
My thoughts on this, I loved it because I love wrestling, and this was a wonderful night of wrestling. That's right. You're listening to lovewrestling.ca. Get that plug in. But no, I thought it was great start to finish, and if you didn't, you're wrong. And don't compare companies to other companies. Just let them be what they want to be. This was a fantastic night. We haven't had this type of competition in a long time. I'm excited for the future. And speaking of the future, and I'm glad I didn't have to eat my words entirely tonight, because tomorrow, Spencer, do you want to tell them? No, I'll tell them. It's fine.
You tell them. I'm going to give you the big screen to tell them.
I'll tell them. You see, tomorrow is a very special episode of Poetry of a Promo, hosted by me, Mr. J. And it just so happens that, this guy has a bit of a collection, a collection, if you will. It's about Kenny Omega. And you're going to want to listen to it, especially after today, because it's Kenny by God Omega, and he's the ruler of the freaking world right now. Accept it.
I love it, my friend. And of course, before we sign off here on Love Wrestling Reacts, got to give a quick shout to our friend Josh and Giddy. Hi, Josh. Hi, Giddy. It's good to see you guys. I also want to give a quick shout to Offawe. I'm very sorry. I one day will pronounce that correctly. But for now, feel free to shame me, correct me. But most importantly, thank you. I deserve that. Most importantly, thank you for the follow. It is appreciated. And if you guys want to continue to stay up to date with what we're doing here on the Twitch machine and when we're doing it, twitch.tv/LoveWrestlingCA is the place to do so. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up in the next couple of days. We've got some individuals who are going to be back here tomorrow night recapping Monday Night Raw. Who they're going to be, I don't know. Will you see me? Will you see Mr. J?
Absolutely
we don't
not.
know. Quite literally, we don't know. We haven't planned the schedule yet. We're going to figure that one out when we get to it. The other thing we would love to ask if you guys could do it online is head to ratethispodcast.com/LoveWrestlingCA. Help us out with that all-important Apple algorithm. That is a great way to do it and help bump us up the charts. We've been a top 10 Canadian podcast before. We want to be a number 1 Canadian podcast sooner rather than later, and that is one wonderful way to help not only us, but you've got 1 week left. Yes, 1 week left. That if you head to that website link right there, you guys will get 25 cents donated towards Meals on Wheels, courtesy of Podchaser. It's just a great organization. I say it every single time I've got the opportunity to, but it's because they do great work. And if you've got the opportunity to support them simply by giving some stars and leaving some words, I think it's well worth the time. The other thing that we can suggest that is not a strictly online endeavor, but you have to begin your search online, lovewrestling.ca shop. If you head there, we are getting our brand new collaboration shirts brought tomorrow and we'll begin shipping out. We will be getting those to those fine people like Sandy who have ordered them already. We've also got some masks, some Sunday brunch mugs like you see here that I haven't moved from my office space since Sunday brunch this morning, and a lot of great stuff coming up in the future. Thank you guys for your support here on Love Wrestling Reacts. Of course, brought to you as always by RK Athletics. Not only if you're in the Edmonton area can you get the great work done from Rich King and his personal therapy, personal physical personal. Can we take 2? Can I take 2? Can you call action?
Live, pal. We're live, pal.
Can you call action?
Action.
Of course, Love Wrestling Reacts is brought to you by RK Athletics. If you're in the Edmonton area, you want to take advantage of some great personal training, which you've got the opportunity to do pending restrictions. Rich is a great individual to do it. I'm beginning my own fitness journey. I know I'm only beginning it. You can see I'm 160 pounds soaking wet wearing boots, but I can certainly tell you that Rich has helped me out a ton as far as not only, getting my ass in a gym, but helping me out with learning how to do stuff at home, helping me with everything, not only the physical fitness side of things. And if you guys are outside of the Edmonton area, you guys can get that done online. Feel free to check out RK Athletics on social media at RK Athletics 1 across Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Oh, man. You can tell we've done too many streams lately, man. I'm butchering
Just
words. I got to book a vacation with their boss.
Good luck.
Funny.
He's very difficult to get a hold of. And he's,
only when you're trying to renegotiate contracts. Let's raid someone, Mr. J, and let's raid
Spencer. Especially in honor of this evening, I think we should do the thing.
What's the thing?
You know the thing. Everybody knows the thing.
What do we do? Do we thank the fans?
No.
Do we butcher plugs? Because I've done both of those already today.
Spencer, the logo. See, the logo is over here and over here.
Yes.
We've already done our job.
Well, we've done our job.
For now. I'm going to do the thing. I must bid you adieu.
Ah, you're bidding adieu?
Good night. Are going... And goodbye.
Ah, he did the thing. We're going to be rating our friends over at Jupiter Vision. If you're watching on Twitch, that button has just shown up. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I speak for Mr. J when I say thank you for tuning in to Love Wrestling Reacts. I'm Spencer Love. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.